The 18-year-old German wonder kid Jonny won the biggest tournament in Europe, the eChampions League, and made history. I'm quite sure that he has lots of stories to tell, but we are not here to talk about stories. We are going to break down the facts, analyze his game style in the grand finals, and bring out his focus points that made him the biggest in Europe. We will talk about his defensive shape first, but let's just hear this question out.
What's this about you playing 100 depth as well? Do you recommend it?
For example, against Levyfinn or Donell, the player there offense very good, so I put 100 depth and it works, so it's amazing.
So, 100 depth in defense. Really? Well, we gotta see that. Depth in the defense has been one of the major talking points since the start of FC24, and this brings it to another level. If you have a high defensive depth, then your team will be aggressively pushing forward to retrieve the ball once the opponent has it in their own field. That means you press up high, but if you fail with a single mechanic, you could be leaving your backyard wide open for a through ball. Since he has been using 100 depth, his midfield and forward line is up high. Jonny wants to reduce the gap between the defense and those players by executing the offside trap consistently. That gives him a more compact defense and less area for the opposition midfielders. That's the first trick. The second one is a strict rule. If you're applying high pressure and also push your defense up high, you are not allowed to bring your defenders further out. That means even if the opponent gets past him, he runs back with the beaten defender instead of selecting another one in the back and run with him forward. This way he will avoid giving away gaps. Discipline. So, let's see one example here. After losing the ball, his offensive line is going to stay up high. Instead of taking one player from the midfield and pressure, he remains on Drogba and drags him towards the wing. He gambles and covers the right side, but the opponent goes the other way. This is the key part. Instead of being impatient and moving either one of these players, he tries to catch the player with Drogba again. Running back helps him to protect the shape of the defense, and the first time that he switches to another player is when he has another player ahead of him. The ball goes through the pressure line and there's a runner in behind, but since the defensive line is so high, he will directly get caught in offside. Since there is no one to defend with except for his defender, he switches the approach and lets go of the aggressive challenges. This way, he doesn't bring the defender out of his position and carefully covers the passing lane while also applying the second man pressure towards the dribbler. His patience pays off once the opponent decides to go for a careless pass. So with the 100 depth in the defense, he presses up high on the opposition half and goes back to patient and disciplined approach on his own. Masterpiece. So the 100 depth strategy is one of the most dangerous tools in terms of defensive shape and high line pressing if you know how to use it. Jonny has been using an unusual formation among the pro scene, which is 4-4-1-1, and my colleague Taz just made it completely free in that tutorial on our application The Guide Plus, which reveals the full strategy on how to play it. If you want to know the secrets to it, check the links in the description. His aerial presence has been remarkable and he has been using long balls, crosses, and all these stuff which made him unstoppable. You have probably seen Drogba too much around the footage, but there is a reason for that. He used them incredibly during the corners, which gave him 2 extra goals in the grand final. Let's see it in live action from his perspective. So when he gets to the flag, he aligns the corner kick a bit more towards the near post. That is the first step because that will indicate the crossing line on which you will receive the ball. Then up to the second part, selecting the player you want to head the ball with. By default, if you press the L1 button, you will switch between the players who will receive the ball. You can either see the cursor changing on the players or the name bar on the lower left side. Once you get to the right player, powering up the crossing button will change the scene. The power you give indicates how much distance the ball will travel in that direction. Jonny is in control of Drogba here. He aligned the cross towards the near post, so the only thing he has to do is to run there, and while he's about to reach the destination, press the crossing button again. So he moves a bit towards the lower side to gain full momentum before running towards the sweet spot that we talked about, and while he's running, he takes the corner. With the aerial playstyle plus, Drogba easily reaches the ball in the air and scores the header. Scoring back-to-back with this method allowed him to go from a 2-1 scoreline to a 3-2, which gave him a huge momentum. Set-piece strategies can easily shift the tide of a game in which there's a lot of pressure and stress. Talking about stress and pressure, we get to our last point. Not panicking and being ice cold are way too important in these big games. In a best-of-1 grand finals, Jonny fell back twice, but that didn't force him to give up on the game. This composure is not only about finishing, but also on the entire pitch. He has been really confident about controlling his surroundings and mostly didn't rush anything. Let me explain with a couple of examples what I mean with it. After switching sides, he sees 2 passing opportunities but remains calm and decides to control it first time to be more safe. After a successful touch on the ball, he passes the ball to Mbappe, which opens up 2 magnificent opportunities. He sees the run and creates a passing angle towards there, but watch out, this is the breaking point. 99% of the players, and probably you, would go for a through ball to Ronaldo. However, he sees the AI defender covering his running lane, and also the manually selected defender is ready to confront him from the lower side, which is why he doesn't force the pass and directly turns towards the other side that is free. After getting rid of the selected defender of the opponent, he takes a look at the pitch for a second time. Both passing options are being covered, but he's actually in a good spot to go for a Trivela shot, which is quite powerful this year, and that is how he scores the equalizer. More complex situation. Instead of passing the ball towards a more contested side, he sees the opening on the upper side, passes the ball back, and while switching sides, he safely covers the ball against the upcoming pressure. While the ball is traveling, he sees that the opponent is executing an offside trap, so passing the ball towards the winger might be risky here, and that is why he takes a touch on the ball, safely sees that the winger is not in an offside situation, and then plays the ball to him. He doesn't sprint or pass, just walks around and observes to see what the defensive intention is. Once his teammate makes a run forward, he passes to him and safely dodges the defender by turning around, seeing the next run of the striker. A very nice through ball followed by a confident touch on the ball to prepare a finishing opportunity. However, the position is not done yet, as he sees that the keeper is coming out. The last finishing touch might be the most stressful one, however, he calmly rolls the ball around the keeper and finishes the position with no error. Well, congratulations to Jonny for the championship, and we really hope you guys learned new things from this analysis. Professional players are mostly one step ahead of the normal players, but I think with our latest video that appears on your screen right now, we can give you 3 criminally underused overpowered mechanics that they have been using in their matches and teach you the meta. Watch it now, learn them all, and beat your opponents easily. Hope you guys enjoyed, take care, and peace.